video, I want to discuss tone. What is tone? Tone's very important. You need to watch for tone in your writing. It's going to be there, but you need to find the right type of tone. The tone is the way something sounds when it is read or said. It's the subtle communication of attitude, emotion, or bias. And we readily recognize tone in spoken conversation. Just think of a phone call you might have, or words you might hear from a friend sitting next to you. Maybe the friend is angry, and you can hear it in the way he or she is talking. Maybe the friend's happy. Maybe when you can hear it in the voice when people are tired, not just because of the actual quietness of the speech, but they're not talking as much. They're not maybe being as copious with their words. Maybe they're just clipping their sentences. You can tell when someone's sad. You can tell when someone's silly. Now, so in the spoken arena of communication, we are experts at picking up tone. It's a little hard sometimes to watch the tone as it shows up in written communication. So in written communication, tone is often conveyed by means of punctuation marks or other marks of punctuation, like think all caps, think exclamation points, think underlining or italics, or if you're able to use color in your document, maybe you'll put something in yellow or you'll highlight it or something. And tone is often also marked by emphatic word choice. So you're not going to use a normal sounding, a word. If a more colorful adjective is going to be there. If you're angry, you're probably going to use more strong or more colorful wording to emote or to discuss your case. So let me tell you a really good rule to follow, rule of thumb for most college work. You should strive for a professional, objective tone. This is the tone of academic writing. Alright, so now I know this is a video. This is actually one video of two that I'm going to do about tone. You should watch the second one too to see examples. Here I'm just providing an explanation. But you need to understand what academic writing is and how tone, what it's going to sound like. So let's quickly discuss the signs of academic writing. All right. So signs of an academic text, or academic writing, we could say. In academic writing, there's going to be a strong willingness to disclose the documents of the sources, of the author's sources. By there I mean the authors, or just so. Information is going to be used, data is going to be presented, and if ever that's the case and it's not common knowledge, the authors are going to tell you, look, this is where we got it, this is the document. So they're going to cite it in their text. So I want to point out a second sign. It's going to be, academic writers are going to be very prone and very willing to actually use other quotations or other data from other sources, other authors, right into their own writing. And they're going to talk about how this author said this and that author said this, and here's this chart, here's this quote coming from this study. So they'll put other people's work right into their text. It makes their text stronger. That's how they use the authoritative voices to build up their own case, or the data available to build up their own case. So that's in-text citation, right? Because it's right in their text. But then they're going to put a footnote, or they're going to put abbreviated markings like parenthetical citation. And they're going to, at one place, somewhere in the document, they're going to give you all the information about the actual documents they used to get this stuff. Okay, so here was this book, here's this journal article, here's this documentary, here's this email, here's this transcript of a phone call, here's the transcript of a TV program. Here's the website. All of these are documents, okay? Even though let's think of documents as more than just paper. I mean, a film is a document. So they'll give you all that information. All right. Now another sign, the third sign, is that they're going to have a high level of vocabulary. I mean, they will be using a wide range of words. They have lots of words at their disposal. Complicated words. Developed words, difficult words. To them, it's natural. That's the word they want. It expresses that shade of meaning. But if you don't have a good vocabulary, you're going to be stymied by this. You're going to be intimidated by it. Now, you should use this as an opportunity to get a good vocabulary, but they will have a lot of this at their disposal, and they'll know how to make complicated sentences. All right. And then this is the fourth sign. What I want to talk about now is they're going to have an objective, dispassionate, yet professional tone. So they're not going to be angry. You're, you're not going to hear their emotions bleeding over their writing, whether it's happy emotion or sad emotion, positive or negative emotion. It's just rarely going to be there. They're going to try to take a very clinical look at something, a dispassionate look, an objective, uh, professional tone is going to be prevalent in the writing. Now, there's often a fifth sign to academic writing, and that's a willingness to enter an established conversation, to quote other sources, what other sources have written about a subject, in order to provide a contribution. They really want to not just repeat what other people have said. Most academic writing is trying to add something to the literature or to the knowledge out there. Now, having giving you these signs, I want to just make an aside here. A source can be an academic source without having to be a book or journal article. So I often have students ask me, well, how many books or how many articles? And I try to ask them to reframe the question in terms of how many academic sources you need, as opposed to popular sources. And you know, a blog can, if it's done right with this material, can be an academic source. A website, just an online web article that doesn't have a print corresponding version, can be a very academic if it has this material in it. So these are really the tells or the signs, the sine qua nons, the essentials of academic writing. And tone is a big thing. All right. So again, I want to step back away to remind you that this was about tone. And the next small video I'm going to do is going to give you some examples found online about of bad tone, bad, horrible tone, and then good tone. So the rest of the stuff was just meant to say for college work, you should really focus on developing academic tone.